Today in Moco, we are in the Chaos Extreme Rifts. We're going into the Deep Gorge and we're taking on Mama Jumper. I'm going to share with you the loadout that I used and the gameplay footage that got me the most boss damage and the most overall damage. So let's hop straight into the loadout. So we've gone for a mixture really. We've got some AoE kind of gadgets and passives. We've got some single target and we've got a little bit of healing, a little bit of self-sustain in there as well. So we'll kind of pop through all these then. For the rings, we've got the explosive ring, which gives an increased critical chance to your gadgets. The time ring, which gives a cooldown reduction and more increased damage to your gadgets. And finally, we've got the echo ring, which gives a increased critical chance to your passives. Passives then, we've got the unstable laser, the vampire teeth, and the unstable beam. Gadgets then, we've got the single target of the taser, then we've got the fireworks, and we've also got the pepper spray. Finally, the weapon, we've got the speed shot bow and arrow, and I do think that the speed shot is really important in this one. Mama Jumper jumps all around the place and charges back and forth across the arena, and you can get really good uptime on having a ranged weapon, especially with the speed shot, having it maxed out, so kind of fully charged up, shooting as quickly as possible. You can get really good uptime in this one, as you'll see from the video. And like I say, I was top on boss damage and top on overall damage and still managed to die, can't remember from the clip, but at least once during this. So let's talk about the strategy. One of the key things to note about this fight is that it gets more difficult the longer the fight goes on. Mama Jumper has a number of abilities, but will cast them more frequently the longer the fight goes on. One of her abilities is a kind of jump on a person. In the early stages, she will just jump onto one person. Later on, as you can see now, she will jump to 2 people, 3 people, and I think at the end we'll jump on up to 5 people. What I would say though, is that the jumps don't actually, from one jump to the next, she doesn't actually jump very far. So we're having this ranged weapon should mean that you're able to kind of stay out of the way unless you're like me and get flattened just like that. The other thing that she does is charges across the arena. Early on in the fight, she'll just do that once. Later in the fight, she will do that 2 or 3 times. And she doesn't just keep going up and down the same kind of path. On the second and third charges, she will cause a different path. There's also a big frontal for you to avoid, which should be easy enough. And finally, there is a big 360-degree kind of area of effect attack, which starts as a small radius and then pulses bigger and bigger, so you'll need to get out of the way of that as well. So having a ranged weapon on this one is going to be a massive help to you, but essentially there's just loads of things to dodge and there's some ads that spawn throughout the course of the fight as well. Anyway, that's enough of me telling you about it. This is how I did it.